Hey, it's Emily and welcome back to EA Tarot. Today we are doing a little tarot tag / curated deck collection video. So grab a cup of something and let's get into it. So this tag was originally created by Jessie. I will drop her channel down below, but basically it's kind of like the decks that you use to descend into yourself. And while Jessie had some pillars in her craft and in her practice that she utilizes, I don't really operate under that structure, and I'm actually really intuitive with the decks that I'm using and kind of where my time is dedicated. I don't have like specific aspects, I guess you could say. So I don't know, when I was choosing decks for this video, I kind of just chose them based upon decks that you or anyone who really vibes with the imagery and with the energy of the deck could use to kind of descend into yourself and explore those layered qualities. So today I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have a total of 12 decks. Some are Oracle, some are Tarot. I'm not going to talk too much. Let's just get into it because we have a lot to kind of go over. So we're going to start things off with the Soul Mirror Oracle. I really love this deck. It was so kindly sent to me by Sunshine Connolly, which is one of the co-creators of the deck. This one is just really good at telling you what it is that you need to know, even if you don't have the appropriate question in mind, because you don't necessarily know exactly what you're asking for. So I have had this deck come through really well for me personally, and also with clients who are really uncovering intense traumas. This is really good for intense traumas. This is good if you are someone, in my opinion, who has experienced severe mental, physical trauma. So kind of, like abusive relationships, unhealthy relationships, maybe like drug abuse is part of your past. This is a deck that is really intentional at helping you uncover the reasons why you subjected yourself to an unhealthy cycle and why you did it for, the amount of time that you did, and how you can pull yourself out and the coping mechanisms that you can use to kind of rebuild and move forward. So it's an incredibly intentionally crafted deck. I really love this. It's mass market. It is, I believe, a Blue Angel deck. And yeah, it's just one that I would recommend to anyone who is really serious about uncovering trauma and kind of descending into their self through that aspect. So I love this. I think the guidebook is beautiful. It looks gorgeous. Like, these illustrations are so beautiful. And I know that they have a tarot deck coming out. I believe it's the Soul Reflections Tarot. So yeah, I'll definitely take you guys through that deck when it arrives, but I really love this oracle. It is so beautiful. I love the imagery. I love everything about this deck. Yeah, so that is the Soul Mirror Oracle. Now, let's see. Moving ahead, we are going to, again, these are in no order. we are going to drop into the 3 Black Moon Shadow deck. This is a deck that does have full feminine nudity. If you don't like that, if that's not your jam, please skip this deck. And yeah, just move forward. I understand it's not for everyone, but for those of you who do resonate with it, it will be incredibly transformative. So this was gifted to me by the creator, Chris, from Burning Paper Hearts. And I love this deck. It's no surprise that I am a huge fan of Chris's decks and his artwork. I think as a human, he's a great person, you know, from our communications and whatnot. But this is just a really, really good deck at, I want to say, embodying your innate power. Kind of returning back to home is what this deck feels like. Maybe you've strayed away from who you are, or kind of who you viewed yourself as a child, and tried to kind of conform and fit into society, and found that that was not very cohesive with the person that you are now. And so this deck is really, really good at bringing you back into your essence and kind of, again, I don't know, I think just stepping you into your power. It's a really intense deck, and the guidebook is really good for it as well. It's just one that personally I love to use to kind of regroup and gather myself and remember, like, it's a good reminder of like who the fuck you are, right? Like if you're ever feeling self-doubt and you're questioning your abilities as a woman, a human, a witch, a seer, anything along those lines, it's really good for reminding you of your power. So yeah, this is 3 Black Moons Shadow deck by Chris Madsen. We are jumping in to this deck, the Wild Unknown Tarot. If you've been here for any amount of time, you already know my relationship with this deck. This is like my first deck outside of RWS that I purchased for myself. And when I got into tarot, it was during a really, really intensely transformational time in my life. And so this deck will forever hold such a special place in my heart. And it also just reminds me of the descent I've taken into myself and into discovering this aspect of myself that I strongly identify with. And so, yeah. Not only is it a shadow deck, it has shadowy imagery. You know, the guidebook's kind of mysterious, although I love all of Kim Kranz's guidebooks. They're all really, really great, honestly, and I adore her decks. But yeah, it just has something there that is really good at helping you maybe uncover the layers of yourself that you didn't know were there. So yeah, and plus I love the animal imagery. I love the hand-drawn art that she has. I love her interpretations of the deck, or of the tarot. And yeah, the court cards being renamed with mother, father, son, and daughter for the pages, knights, queens, and kings were also really, really good for me when I was exploring family issues and family traumas. And so, yeah, I guess it's good for family work as well, you know, if that's something that you struggle with. So, yeah, I love this deck. I love this Queen of Wands. It's so beautiful. But yeah, that is the Wild Unknown Tarot. Okay, we're not doing too bad. We are 3 decks and 10 minutes in. Not too bad at all. Okay, so we are going to jump ahead to another Kim Kranz deck. Again, this was, I want to say this was my first Oracle deck. Yeah, I love animals. I don't think that's a surprise here. If you've been around here for any amount of time, you know that I love my animals. But yeah, when it comes to descending into yourself and using animal medicine, animal interpretation, animal energy, I love this deck for that. Again, her guidebooks are phenomenal and they're really, really expansive. And they work well with the cards. So yeah, I just appreciate, her decks, and because I brought them into my practice so early on, they just kind of hold that energy of self-exploration, I guess you could say. And so, yeah, I love this Eagle card. It's just a good deck. If you resonate with animal energy, if you resonate with, like receiving signs and medicine from animals, it's a good one. So yeah, this is the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle. Let's see, we are going to jump into another Oracle deck. This is the Desert Rites Oracle by Hilary Banks Self and Yana Saint Leave, I believe. If I mispronounce that, I apologize. This was actually a Mother's Day gift to myself this year, and I worked with this deck a lot. Let's see. Okay. The box is unique in its design. I don't know if it's my favorite, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be my favorite. Okay, so this was, when I saw that this deck was crafted and, co-crafted with Hilary Banks Self, I was immediately intrigued. She is the one who crafted the Outlaw Oracle, which is another deck that I hold really, really close to my heart. I was just like, yes, I have to check this one out. It was on my wish list. It was Mother's Day. I figured, why not go ahead and, give myself a little treat. So, this is not like other decks that I have in my collection. I don't really have, this is a very expansive feeling deck in its imagery, and I don't have a lot of that in my collection, I think. We do have some horse cards in here, which also really drew me in. But yeah, when it comes to descending into myself and how I use this deck, I worked for a larger part of this year. I want to say it was around summer. I worked really, really intensely with this deck surrounding some mother wounds that I hold, and I was trying to process. And so, being a writer and as someone who writes, I do a lot of my processing through writing. And it was actually really, really cool to use this deck alongside the 3 Black Moons by Chris Madsen. So the other deck that I just showed you guys not too long ago, I used these two together and they were really, really groundbreaking for me. And again, another beautiful horse card. I had to. Yeah, they were just really, really transformative. They really brought up a lot of themes that I didn't know how to put words to, and I was able to write it out and process it that way. And so, yeah, I don't know. If you're going through a hard time, if you're going through a transition, The desert itself, because it is so arid and expansive and dry, and not only is this where I physically live, like in the desert, it does have this ability to strip away all of the excess, you know, because when you're incredibly hot and it's arid and there's not much water, and you are kind of being stripped down to who you are at your core. That's what this deck feels like to me. It feels like, you know, you've maybe come across some hallucinogenic, you know, desert plants, and you are embarking on a journey. You're in that ego death, transformative, new sense of self. And so, yeah, that's what this deck feels like to me. And it's beautiful. And it's not like anything else I really have in my collection. And so, yeah, I just love this deck. And I love the buffalo cards here. We have beautiful animal imagery, beautiful desert imagery. It's just, the keywords are great. I love this image too. Like, it's so pretty. I could probably just take you guys through this entire deck and show you all the images. Although I do think I do have an unboxing of this deck on the channel. If I can remember, I'll drop some unboxings of these decks down below if you're interested in that. But yeah, this is the Desert Rites Oracle. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. Next on the list, we have the Somnia Tarot. I feel like everyone has so many thoughts on this deck. And I love that we have death right here. Oh my gosh. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, there's a lot of thoughts and opinions on this deck. I know he's recently come out with an oracle. I would love to at some point grab that, but yeah, I don't work with this deck. I have not been working with this deck, I should say, too much this year. I worked with it, I want to say, heavily in January or February. It might have been February of this year. But I haven't, you know, I kind of did like a deep dive and then I stepped away from it. But regardless, this deck, I think, because it surrounds itself with the idea and the thoughts and feelings and themes of sleep paralysis, if you are someone who does like dream work, or maybe you are someone who experiences insomnia, this is a deck that I think you could benefit from. You know, you could definitely descend into that aspect of yourself and probably uncover a lot and potentially heal some issues you have around your sleep. And so that's what I enjoy using it for. Again, like I said, I haven't done it too intensely. You know, I haven't worked with this deck too intensely. But that's how, you know, that's what my intentions are for it. And I think it would work really, really well with that. And so, yeah, you know, if you're someone who struggles in the evening hours or in the nighttime and you want to kind of see why, then this feels like a deck appropriate for that. Sorry if you guys just heard my little oil diffuser. Sorry, but yeah, I don't know. This also, it feels like it represents the weight of the physical world. And so for me and for my sleeping, things that keep me up at night are things that I experience during my day where I hold a probably unnecessary amount of guilt around. And they're little things, but when it comes to like 10 o'clock or 2 a.m., it's the things that wake me up out of a dead sleep. And I wonder where I could have done something differently, or what I could have said differently, or how I could have handled the situation better. this is a deck that I would pull and kind of come to if I cannot go back to sleep, and it is really, really upsetting me. I love the linen in this deck, as well as our caped faces and horses. And so, yeah, those are just, you know, some of my favorite things about the Somnia, and kind of how I would use it to descend into myself and kind of, you know, explore those less desirable traits. I also just really love photographic decks. And I'm not a big fan of borders, but these white borders, they do it for me. I really, really like that. So yeah, Queen of Wands on top yet again. Now, let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decks left. We are halfway through. We are not doing too bad. Okay. We're going to jump into an oracle deck. I don't know if I already said this or not. These are in no particular order. This is just me pulling decks off of my shelf and sharing them with you guys. So, yes, the Myth Oracle by Daniel Martin Diaz. Sorry, I've done quite a few unboxings of his decks this year. And give me a minute. This is like a box inside of a box situation that we have going on here. I broke the seal on this one, and some of you guys were really upset with me for that. I apologize to subject you guys to rewatching it, but here we are. Okay. Here. So yeah, the Myth Oracle. I really, really love this deck. It's another one that it doesn't, maybe you don't know what you need to hear, but it has something to say to you. And so, yeah, it's really good at just descending into yourself through that. You're like, there's something I need to know. I don't know what it is. Let me pull a card. And that's kind of how I utilize this deck. Now, the guidebook that goes with this is also top notch. Like, I really, really enjoy his writing. And yeah, I find the guidebook to be really useful. Look at this knowing card. Like, look at this old seer we have. It's so beautiful. I love this card so much. This is also a deck that I have found really useful. I love this card too. This is a deck that I have found really, really useful too. If you are kind of thinking of someone in your mind, like they just randomly pop up in your brain and you're like, I haven't talked to them in a few days. Something's going on. I will come to this deck and I'll do a quick pull and I'll shoot them a little message their way. So I'll like shoot them a text message with a picture of the card. And every time I have done that, it has been spot on. Now, I will not use this deck. I have not yet used this deck for client readings. It's been a very, very personal journey for me, as I think it's meant to be. I love this card too. I love his skeletal imagery. But when it does come through for others, it comes through for people who I already have a relationship with that are obviously comfortable with me pulling cards for them and giving them a little bit of wisdom along the way. And so, yeah, that's how this deck likes to show up. And it's just really, it's really, really cool. I don't know. I worked with this one a lot, and I foresee myself continuing to work with this deck a lot. It's just really, really beautiful. And again, you might not know what you need to hear, but if you pull a card and jump to the guidebook, you will find the message that you're like, yes, that is what I was missing. So yeah, this is the Myth Oracle. We are jumping into the Tlesma Tarot. I adore this deck. You guys are probably so sick and tired of me saying that about all of these decks, but it's all true. It is all very, very true. Okay, so yeah, the Tlesma Tarot. Again, this is another deck that I really enjoy using when it comes into like descending into myself for, again, the reclamation of a sense of identity, a sense of who you are. It's like, again, it's reconnecting with your sensual self. It's reconnecting with your fiery self. If you've been feeling super low energy and you are like tired of feeling that way and you're like, why does my life force feel like it's being drained? Come to this deck. Like, this is a really good one for, in my personal opinion and the way I see it, for kind of exploring a depression, if that's something you struggle with. For me personally, I am a naturally, I would like to say, depressive person, and I have been since I was a child. From as early on as I can remember, I've always been kind of sad. And so this is a deck that if you're in that energy for too long, it's obviously not healthy, right? And you want to step out of that. This deck feels like a journey back to the sun, a journey back to your light, a journey to warm you up and remember who you are and why you're here. And so, yeah, I don't know. This was a deck that I totally bought on a whim. I love this Queen of Coins. This is just so good. How can you not? It's a deck that, yeah, I bought on a whim. I had only seen like 1 or 2 cards. I think I stumbled on it on Etsy. And I don't ever buy decks off Etsy, I don't think. Maybe I have a couple of times. Not very often. And I was just like, hold up, what? I need this right now in this moment. And I remember I had like saw the deck on Etsy as I was like sitting in the Fry's parking lot, low-key disassociating, trying to get myself the energy to grocery shop because it was just one of those days. And so I like hopped on Etsy and I think I was just like scrolling tarot decks. I don't know. It sounds sad now that I say it out loud. But I stumbled upon it and I was like, oh my god, I need this. And I was like, I don't actually need another deck right now, so I didn't. And then I'm like midway through my shopping trip and it's all I could think about. So I'm like in the middle of the grocery store, my shopping cart is plumb full with groceries. There's like people passing me by left and right. They're cranky because I've stopped in an aisle, you know. And yeah, I stopped, pulled up Etsy, and impulsively purchased the deck, and I have not looked back since. So it's, I don't know, it's a fiery deck, and it feels so good, and there's so much to uncover in each image. It's just really, it's really beautiful. I don't know. And I love our elemental associations on the top of the cards. That really was something that does it for me too. So yeah, if you're a naturally depressive person and you don't want to be in that energy for too long, obviously who would? This is a great deck for that. This is a great deck for finding the fun and finding the warmth. And you need to kind of, you know, descend into yourself and remind yourself why you're here, why you're doing the things that you're doing, and kind of, you know, see how you are connected with those around you. So yeah, that is the, I love this Tower card. That is the Tlesma Tarot. Now we are into the Circle of Doors Tarot. I really love this magnetic box style. This is a gorgeous deck. I love, literally, I love so much about this deck. One day, I would like to make it to Burning Man. You know, it's definitely not this day, but I would like to get there at some point. And that's something that really drew me in about this deck. It's really good at, for me personally and how I see it, for exploring the feminine relationships and maternal ancestry, and kind of connecting in with the women who have gone before you. That's what this deck feels like to me. It's very much ancestral, women coded, you know, to understand that the women who have come before you and to understand their flaws is kind of how I use this deck and how I descend into myself, learning about what I can do about that and the way that I show up for my family specifically, and what that means in relation to my ancestry and like the wounds that are in my family, which are very, very intense. And, you know, they can be triggering, I guess you could say. And so, yeah, I like to use this deck to kind of explore that ancestral, feminine wound energy. So, yeah. Plus, the guidebook is gorgeous. It's so well written. These cards are amazing. I love the layered photographic imagery. It's no surprise. I love photographic imagery. It just really kind of draws me in, and yeah, I love it. It's so good. And these keywords too, like Mother of Cups for this card, and then we have Giver. It's just so good. 5 of Cups, we have grief. 10 of Keys, we have burnout. The Tower card is a little triggering for some, but nonetheless, yeah, I enjoy the Circle of Doors Tarot. It's actually one, now that I'm like scanning through it right now, I feel like she needs to come back out. I feel like she has some stuff to say. So yeah, that is the Circle of Doors Tarot. Okay. We have 3 decks left. I am coming in hot with these blue bones. This is definitely one of my most favorite decks of all time. And rightfully so. I adore this deck. I don't fully yet understand it. I have not yet built this intense relationship with it, but it's there. And it'll continue to grow. So yeah, these blue bones. I don't have it in a case because I bought it without the box, and I regret that. I should have bought the box. If you're thinking about getting the deck and you kind of want to cut some corners because MPC is expensive and shipping is fucking insane right now, just to throw it out there, don't cut the corner on the box. This is a big deck. I have the Eco Herbage cardstock. I love the cardstock, but it is so slick that the amount of times I have dropped this poor deck and it has splayed itself across my office floor is ridiculous. So I'll probably purchase another copy just so I can have a box for it, and then I'll probably end up like wrapping this one in a cloth, but it's literally been sitting on my main working altar since I purchased it because I use it all the time. So when it comes to descending, you know, the theme of descending into yourself and exploring yourself and uncovering those layers, this is, like I've said before and how I've described it as, like, if you're a sad witch, like, this deck has something for you. It's one that I think will work really, really, really nicely with the Circle of Doors Tarot if you're experiencing that, like, feminine ancestral wounds. There's a lot to explore there. This is like a stalker card for me in this deck. It's random. It always comes up. The amount of cards that are in here is insane. It's like over 100 cards. And I think I've probably pulled this card, I would like to say 80% of the time, which is super funny. But yeah, these blue bones for kind of descending into nostalgia and melancholy and emotional I'm trying to think of the right word. I don't know. Like, again, if you're a depressive person, there's probably something in these cards for you. I really, really enjoy this deck. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just how I like to use it. And I really like to pair this one with the Witches Tarot. I think it's phenomenal. I think this one will go good with so many photographic decks that are out there. But yeah, this is these blue bones. It's so delicious. I'm pretty sure I have a walkthrough of it on the channel. If I can remember, I will drop that. So good. And then, yeah, I'm going to just stop here because I could just take us through it all day long. Now, we only have 2 decks left, and let's see. I'm going to save probably the most obvious one for last. But this is, like I said, we have 2 decks left. This is the Rites Tarot, and although it's such a new purchase for me, it's been out on my desk since I bought it. And yeah, it's really, really cool. Now, I don't know exactly how I'm going to use it per se, but it definitely brings the depth and intention into descending into yourself. And kind of, again, uncovering repressed aspects, uncovering traumas, seeing, I think this will mirror how you view yourself in relation to your outside world. And so it's just, I don't know, it's one of those decks that I know is going to hold a lot for me. And as I continue to work with it, we will build that. We're not there yet because it's so new to my collection. I just got it mid-October. This was a birthday gift to myself. It is a serious investment deck. Probably the most I've spent on a deck. Runner-up probably being these blue bones or somewhere in there. But yeah, it's just, I love this. It's gorgeous. How can you look at this imagery and not, like, it's so good. And I think this will have a lot of good messaging coming through on mortality and kind of what you leave behind when you go. And so that's the vibe I get from it. And that's probably how I'll work with it. But yeah, this is just such a gorgeous, gorgeous deck. I love this. So good. Okay, we're going to end it on the Sun. That is the Rites Tarot. The last deck. I don't think this is going to be a surprise to anyone. This is the Witches Tarot, same creator as the 3 Black Moons Oracle that I showed at the beginning of the video. Like that deck, this does also have full frontal feminine nudity. If that's not your jam, please skip ahead. I show this often on the channel, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. This 2 of Cups, though, is probably one of my most favorite 2 of Cups, aside from the Darkwood Tarot with the 2 horses. So good. That was random, but yeah, I love this deck. Descending into myself. This is an everyday deck for me. This tells me what I need to know. It is a very clear reader. Sometimes it hurts my feelings. That's okay. I need that. It's just a deck that is so transformational, and it has been very transformational for me, personally and professionally. So yeah, this is just my go-to deck. It's my soul deck. It's my everyday deck. You guys hear me talk about this a lot. I'm sure it's no surprise. This Ace of Coins, I might gift myself a little Christmas present of this print because So good. I want to see this every time I step into my office. But yeah, it's the Witch's Tarot, you guys. There's not much else I could say about it other than if you are looking to descend into yourself and you vibe with this imagery and it resonates for you, or it at least intrigues you, it piques your interest and you're like, wait, there's something there, I don't know what it is, pick up a copy, play around with it, and see what it has to show you, because yeah, it's really, really delicious. I love it. We're going to stop with the Devil right here. But yeah, that is the 3 Black Moons. Or not 3 Black Moons, the Witch's Tarot, sorry. Both by Chris Mattson over at Burning Paper Hearts. So, we did it. We did 12 decks in about 40 minutes, which is not terribly bad. Yeah, I don't know. I think I spoke quite a bit about decks that you can use to descend into yourself. We are obviously in the winter months, or coming upon the winter months, and it's a common theme for a lot of people. However, it is something that I dwell in quite often. I find myself frequently diving into my depth and why I am the way that I am. And so for me, this is kind of like a year-round practice. It's honestly, it probably just sums up my practice quite a bit, to be honest. But if this is something that you're looking at doing because of the time of year that we're in, I hope that this deck list / tarot tag could kind of inspire you in some ways. Maybe it, encourages you to pull some of these off your shelf and kind of gives you a different way you can utilize the decks. But yeah, if you've made it to the end, thank you. I will have, like I said, I'll have videos of unboxings of some of these decks dropped into the description box. I will also have Jessie's original video dropped into the description box. All of my links are there. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Substack. I do monthly dark moon readings on Substack. So if you want that long form tarot content, you're kind of sick and tired of seeing like the little short blurbs on Instagram and you kind of want to dive deeper, but you're not sure if you want to do a one-to-one reading with me, the best way to kind of get my style and my vibe would be to hop on over to my Substack and kind of, snoop around over there, see if that resonates with you. I did recently open up my Ko-fi shop, and so I do have one-on-one readings available for purchase there. However, if you're interested, you can always DM me on Instagram. I'm pretty available there as well. So, thank you. Thank you for choosing to spend your finite time with me. Consider subscribing if you're not already. Like the video, drop a comment, let me know, engage with me. I enjoy hearing from you guys. But yeah, I appreciate you for choosing to spend your finite time with me, and I will see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.